Hello, it's Leslie here, co-founder of Sweaty Successful Moms. This is another episode of Leslie's Living Room where I give you mindset tips and motivation to move you towards your goals and your dreams. And tonight I want to share a quote with you. It says, this is from the Four Agreements. The biggest difference between a warrior and a victim is that a victim represses and a warrior refrains. So a victim represses and a warrior refrains. Well, I had my very first parent, I don't know what to call it, but you know when you have to call a parent and talk about how your kids didn't behave well together, or more in particularly how my child did not behave. He was aggressive, age appropriate, but definitely time for me to shift some of my parenting. And during my discussion with an absolutely fabulous close friend who is open and loving, I will tell you it was the most challenging conversation that I've ever had because so many emotions were flying for me when my son really was acting out, and I have personal responsibility for this and being his mother. But there's so many emotions that were driving in this conversation. I wanted to be defensive. I wanted to protect Evan and to be like, no, it's not his fault. It's your daughter's fault, even though my logical mind was like, none of that is true. The truth is, this is actually just about, for me, just about Evan. And I had to ask myself, what is the truth for me? And where I see that I actually feel like I was a warrior of love is that I I didn't feel heard, and I started to swallow down my feelings and I started to repress them. And how many times in your life is there something important to you, you don't feel heard, you feel confused, you know that you're not being seen, and you start to swallow your emotions. You just try to push them down because you know that you can't say the right thing at the right time. So in this parent conversation, I knew I could not say the right thing at the right time. I knew that my emotions were getting the best of me. I wanted to swallow down and repress my feelings. And instead, I decided to simply refrain and be with my emotions. And so I had long pauses on this phone call. I had very long pauses where I would just feel my feelings, and I noticed I'm being defensive. I cannot see clearly. My emotions are completely masking my judgment and my logic. And so I simply didn't do anything. And in the conversation, I said to my friend, again, who's super fabulous, I said, I've talked about as much as I can talk about tonight, and I'm going to need time to digest because I wasn't acting in my logical mind. I was acting in my emotional mind. And so my tip for today is if you ever find yourself getting really emotional, we do not have to suppress our emotions. We do not have to swallow them down. However, we do not have to overcome them in the moment. We have the right to be human. We're all human, so we have the right to feel exactly how we feel, and we can create boundaries and say, let's talk about this tomorrow, or let's talk about this in an hour, or whatever the time frame is for you. So this might be with a spouse, this could be with a friend, this can be with your kids. If you feel your emotions taking over, give yourself some time to be with them, to feel them, but also set a time to also really deal with them and make the shift. So step one, be with your emotions. Step two, set a time frame of processing. And then step three, choose a time that you're actually going to shift the emotion so that you can function in your logical mind. That's why we have two hemispheres in our brain, so that they can connect. And then we can live this beautiful life with love. That's it for now. Choose to refrain versus repressing your emotions. Be sweaty, be successful, redefine success to be whatever's important to you, and remember to take care of yourself. Take your meds, meditation, exercise, proper diet, and get support. Here for you. Have a good night.